All right. So yes, please kindly put down where you're joining us from in the charts. Let's know where we are represented. Those of us in the UK, don't let us hide. Let's show. Uh, those of us in the abroad, in Nigeria, overseas. Some of us are not even on planet Earth. We know. Please type it in the chat. We want to know where you're joining from. We want to celebrate you for coming so far away through the digital fiber to attend this event. So yeah, in today's event, we are just here to gather and learn some bit of stuff about tech education itself, especially the holistic one. You hear tech, 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 tech everywhere, and then schools will be like they're learning coding, teachers will be like, let your kids learn, the pressure and everything. Before everybody wants to be a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, maybe a teacher. I don't know. So, but now we have tech all around. So what is this tech? How do we make sure that we do not make mistakes of yesteryears, so that we can actually like give our kid that gift of the 21st century? How do we help them to package that gift of the 21st century so that they actually like get the real tech education from the classroom, outside the classroom, build it by themselves and all of that. I'm not seeing any response in the chats yet. Are we? Oh, yeah. Please let us know where you're joining from. Okay. Zamina from Nigeria. Everybody is saying from United States of Nigeria. Is it because it's Democracy Day? Okay. Okay, Ms. Aminat Bakare, special shout out to you for being the first to join this meeting. We celebrate you. I'll celebrate you with this. Thank you for joining so early. So there is no African time. I'm glad everyone is here and we started right on time. Please introduce yourself. Sell yourself in the comment section, in the chat section. Let's know where you're joining from. Let's know what you do. Let's know why you're here to learn, please. While we await our first speaker. Now, in the World House there's still also this debate, the regular one, because there is fear all around, like, oh, my child, should I give them the smartphones now? Should I allow them to use the laptop right now? So what do we think? What do we think? Is this the time where we can actually like throw our laptops or their phones into their hands, considering that tech is out there? So please, you can share or you can just unmute yourself to speak while we wait. What do you think? What age, what age specifically is the right time to what age specifically is the right time to actually introduce, not even introduce, like put a smartphone or a laptop into your kids' hands? Please share. You can share in the comment section. You can unmute yourself to speak. Let's start with that. Okay.
Okay, so
I
we're
like
still
to be
waiting.
very okay, yes. I like to be very active with my question. Mr. Kabir, I can see Mr. AA Kabir. Please kindly share with us what's your perspective on the right time for people to actually like give their kids the smartphone and all of that to actually learn.
Okay, Mr. Aruna, thank you for
Yes,
thank you for the question. I wasn't prepared. I was not expecting you to call my name, but you did. So for me, it's I don't think it's not a one-way answer. It's not something. I wouldn't say that it's a one-size-fits-all response, right? Largely, for me, I think the technology generally has come to help. We are in the era, and for me, I believe that at every level, so there's always something for either a child, the parents, adults, even the old to pick from the devices, the media, the internet. So it all boils down to the control. So because, for example, the children, for example, if you, aside devices, aside the internet, there's so many things around their life that you can't just let them be in charge. Like, okay, even the TV, you can't just give them access to watch everything they want to watch, right? But it's still good for them because a quite number of programs, educative programs going on there that is good for them. So the same thing, my child is just, my first child is 8 years old, but if you see what that child does with, the smartphone around creating a video content, just him and alone, trying to study through some videos. I have specific videos that I put in folders for him to watch. This is what you watch today. This is the topic you are working on today. And after he's done, then you need to make a video presentation. So he need the camera. And if he does that as we speak, he has his YouTube channel. So it's amazing. But again, like I've said, this has to be under control of a parent, because even if he has to be using some devices, he has to sit before me, then I have to be teaching him ownership, how to take the ownership of the device in case I'm not around and he has to use it. So you literally have to install some ownership, control, and the reason why things happen the way they happen, where he should go, why he should not go. And so you find out that sometimes he had to be preaching to me now some of the things he's seen, and he would literally be picking some information based on the programming I've been giving him. So, but again, where parents are getting it wrong, let me just round up now, is you just want to give a phone to your child. You just want to give them laptop. You just want to you throw it like that and then you just go off. So at the end of the day, this will be doing a whole lot of damage more than the expected outcome, because it is not planned, it is not structured, so it is going to be hazard. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but like I said, it's not a one size fit all. I've been a teacher over the last, I've shifted from being a lecturer, from classroom teacher to being a lecturer, now to being a business owner. So through the journey, I've always been a teacher, though I mean billionaire teacher now is what I call myself. So, but looking through it all, so these things need control. I think that's the key thing. But children can use these devices because they have a lot to benefit from it. And if you try to stop them from using it, I can bet you that that's even the most dangerous aspect. Like without, you stop them here, they're going to go out somewhere else. You stop them here, they're going to go here. So just for you to learn, how to structure it for them, so even while they're away, they use it based on the expected structure. I think this is what I have to say. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Kabir A. Abdulkadir, right? I'm happy to be here. I've been following you, Mr. Arun Hafiz, over the time. I believe in what you do. I so much believe in your structure, your STEM stuff, and all you've been driving it over the years. I've been seeing you, watching you. I've shared this link to so many teachers, right? I've shared to so many groups and platforms to join because I believe whatever that comes from
Thank you
you.
very much, sir.
Wow. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
very
the
much,
opportunity.
sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that kind word. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so Miss Moyosola Ugomola, please can you share your perspective as regards when is the right time to introduce a smartphone or that gadget to your kid? Please, you can speak, ma'am. If you're just joining us, kindly let us know if you're joining us from. Miss Moyosola, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just joining
All
from
right. All right.
Benin
Welcome, ma'am.
City, Edo State.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Please, please kindly share your perspective on when do you think is the right time to introduce gadgets to kids, or how should we shape their tech education as a whole? Thank you.
Okay. For me, I think the right time to introduce gadgets to your kids is, I feel, is relative. Do you understand? I think I believe that there's no, I don't have a particular age in mind. I'll say, okay, this is the right time to introduce a gadget. But the thing that I will say, and what my mentor has always told me is, you should learn you should teach the children control. Do you understand? Because some people tell you don't introduce the gadgets at all until maybe after they go to university. I have some students I'm teaching that is only during the online class that they're exposed to that gadgets. Do you understand? After that, they don't have access to it. Do you understand? So me, I believe that as a parent, any age that you feel your child is ready to be responsible, to learn control. Do you understand? When you know your child and you know that, okay, this is the time, the child is at a particular age whereby I can tell him, okay, you only have 2 hours today to spend on your gadgets, and you know that the child, you can monitor him in learning how to control the excesses. Do you understand? So that's why I said it's relative, depending on you and your child. You get? So I feel that's just my take in it. But we should teach our children control, not that you leave them on that gadget all through, because some parents abuse it. They use that opportunity to send the children away so that they wouldn't disturb. Do you understand? So it's you making sure you are able to balance it. Okay, I think that's a major message. Balance is the key to children being exposed to gadgets. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for sharing from the world of your knowledge. Thank you so much. All right, Miss Claire, Miss Montserrat, yeah, thank you, Ms. Moisola and Mr. Abdelkabir. Thank you so much. Miss Claire, can you hear me? Okay. All right, welcome, ma'am, Ms. Montserrat. Thank you for joining. Thank you for accepting our invitation to Parents and Educators Conference. I don't know if you can hear me, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am? Okay, I think you're still on mute. I can't really hear you, ma'am. Miss Claire? Miss Claire, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. I can hear you. She's
right, ma'am.
Mrs. Montserrat is currently muted, so
yes,
she's trying to speak.
Miss Claire? Miss Montserrat is here.
Okay, do you want me to speak, sir? This is Miss Moyo Sola.
Oh, no.
No.
Sorry, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to get my boss to, okay, what's the echo? I'm just trying to get my boss to actually unmute herself. Yes.
She's also currently having a network glitch. I can see that from the video.
Okay.
Before she put it up,
Sorry. All right, so sorry for the inconvenience. What with the breaks? Okay, there's an echo somewhere. I need to figure it out. All right, Miss Basura, are you with us now, ma'am? I can see that your video is on. Please, you can unmute and speak, ma'am.
Yes, I just did.
All right, thank you. Thank you for joining, ma'am.
Can you hear me now?
Welcome.
Yes, please. We can.
Yes, we can, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Yes.
Wow. Now, do you need to share your slides or anything? Or you're good to go, ma'am?
I think I'm good to go.
All right.
Can I start like that?
You have the floor, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I thank you all for joining today's session. My name is Mansoura Tololade, and I am delighted to be here with you all. Let me just do a brief introduction about myself. I'm the founder and creative director of Ladi Nigeria Crafts and Leatherworks Limited, a custom-made shoe brand in Nigeria. I had my first degree in mathematics education. Am I audible enough, please?
Yes, you are.
Okay, and I did my postgraduate diploma in early childhood education, and presently I'm a master's student of gender and development studies at Redeemers University, Ede, Osho State. I am passionate and about advocating for youth and women empowerment, education, and sustainable development of education. Beyond business, I'm also a mother, a mentor, and someone who believes deeply in the transformative power of early childhood education, early childhood learning. Sorry. So today's topic is ABC: attention, balance, and collaboration in early childhood learning. I think this couldn't be more timely or important than now because the foundational years of a child's life, particularly between age 0 to 5, children form the core of their personality, intelligence, emotional stability, and learning behavior. And what we expose them to at this stage can either open their minds to the world or restrict their potential. Um, when we talk about ABC, we are not just referring to the alphabet, but the pillars that help build the holistic development of a child, which is the emotional stability, the emotion, mental, physical development generally. So let's take it one by one. A stands for attention, B for balance, C for collaboration. Attention, how we help children develop focus and curiosity in a world full of distractions, especially in this age of uh, social media, blah, blah, blah. A lot of parents immediately they give birth to their children, what they do is get them a tablet. I mean, they are not even giving them that ability to grow naturally as a child. Now, let's go to balance. How we ensure they grow holistically, mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially. Then C stands for collaboration. How we work together, parents, teachers, and peers to create a nurturing, culturally relevant, and inclusive learning environment. I mean, I want all of us here to reflect for a moment on our own early years. Think of that teacher, parent, or environment that shaped how you saw learning. For many of us, it wasn't just the lessons we learned, it is our needs. It is how somebody paid attention to us, balanced our needs with care, or encouraged us to work and play with others. I'm sure most parents now, because everybody wants to copy the Westerners or, I mean, because for me, I grew up in a local environment where we play with, I don't know if everyone here is Yoruba, we play with, I mean, clay soils, no loamy soils. We play with, I mean, practically things that we can see around, not just television, not just cocoa melon, not just, some of us didn't even have the opportunity to grow with stuffs like that. So as we go into today's session, I hope we all leave with renewed energy, practical tools that we can all use, whether as educators, caregivers, parents, or policymakers, to invest better in our younger ones. Because when we get early learning right, we set up our children for a lifetime of success, not just in school, but in life, but in life. So let's go into this in detail. Um, Just like I said, attention is the ability of young children to focus on tasks, people, or stimuli for a period. What are the points that I want us to note here? Attention span in early childhood is naturally short, but it can be nurtured. Two, the importance of engaging sensory activities like touch. Like myself, I have a son of 8 months going to 9. Just this yesterday, I went to the market. I noticed that he's standing already and he's about taking his steps. I went to the market. I went to go and there are toys for the route.
Is it just me or I can't really hear
Yeah,
anymore?
it's not just you. I can barely hear. I think
Okay.
we lost the connection again.
So sorry for that.
Mrs.
Network
Monserrat,
disruption.
are you back?
Sorry.
Okay, over to you, Mr. Harino. I don't think she can hear us now.
All right, so sorry for that. If you're just joining us, it's the Parents and Tech and Educators Conference 2025. Welcome. Please introduce yourself in the charts, where you're joining from, what you do, wow horse in the charts. It's been some minutes of this experience, and our first speaker is here. We apologize for that networking inconvenience so far. We deeply apologize for that. I'm not going to say it's Nigeria because today is Nigeria's day. So, but we deeply apologize. So many factors in play. Please, if you're just joining, kindly drop where you're joining us from, a little bit about yourself and everything we should know about you. Welcome. Okay. Let me try to see. She will be back any moment. So, Mom, are you here, Mom? Because I can see if she's here. Miss Foster, can you hear us, Mom? So sorry about that. You have a lot of stars in the room. Thank you all for joining far and away. Thank you. We deeply apologize for the network inconvenience. I'm very sure she's trying to join as well. So sorry for that network disruption. Okay. All right. I'll just give us some minutes again. We do not see, we'll move to the next item on the agenda. Please get ready. Let's try to sharpen, what should I call it? Let's try to sharpen our creative stick. Let's start to sharpen it very well, because the next item is going to be really awesome. It's just 5 questions, and then we'll have 5 winners. So please get ready. Don't worry, it's not mathematics, it's not English. It's all about forming an holistic tech education for our kids. So we're going to have our icebreaker very soon, while we also invite our second speaker, and then we call it a day. It's short, it's packed, it's insightful. That is what this year's conference is all about. Okay, I'm still trying to get her to be back in class. So sorry. I used class just now, teacher's language. So sorry about that. Please, can anyone hear me? I've just been talking.
Yes.
Hello. Okay. Interesting. So sorry. I think network is something today. Miss Claire, are you still here? Is she back here?
Yes, yes, I am. I think Mrs. Mansour. Am I sure?
Yes, Mansour.
Okay. I think she's back, but our audio is not connected. So if you have questions, in the meantime, I'd like everyone to remember to jot down their questions for the Q&A session coming up. You can drop them in the chat box so that we don't miss any of it. So in the meantime, while she's joining back, I think we should move on to the icebreaker, and I'm going to be handling that part to Mr. Arno.
All right. If you're ready for the icebreaker, please, where the reaction button is. Let me see 30 reactions from us. At the bottom of your screen, you see the react button. Thumbs up, anything, just throw it on the screen, please. Let's do that quickly, please. If you're ready for the icebreaker, please kindly react, show your interest. Let's see, you can ask for my account details to react to. That'll be interesting. All right. Okay. Oh, apologies. My video's not been on for a while. All right. All right. Here goes. I'm about to share it. We are ready. You can unmute, please. If you're in a quiet place, you can unmute, because you're just picking 5 winners for this session. You can unmute, please. Can you all see my screen, please?
It's still sharing.
Please, I'll need someone to talk. Okay.
No, it's not
Is it
showing.
up now? It's not showing yet. How about now? Is it showing now?
Still loading. I yet to say.
Still loading. Okay, you're yet to
Yeah.
see it. And Miss Monserrat is back. Okay, what do we do? Okay, so
No, she's not.
I'll have to
Our
stop
audio is not
sharing.
connected.
It's showing
No,
Our
now.
audio
audio
check.
is not connected.
Okay.
Mr. Arno, please go ahead. Our audio is not connected.
All right, I'll go ahead. Sorry about that, everyone. All right, so please, if you can see my slide, 3 people you can speak. Can you see my slide, anyone? Please. Can anyone see my slide yet?
It's still sharing.
Okay. Please, let's get ready. 5 questions. If you know the answer to the puzzle, quickly speak up or put it in the chat. We'll be watching. All right, so this is a picture puzzle. You will have seen this game online. Can anyone see my screen yet? Because it says
Yes.
screen sharing.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, let's go. 5 winners, 5,000 naira to be shared among 5 winners. That is 999 naira each, right? Okay. All right. So now let's go. Okay, so the first question. So this is how we play the game. You're going to see some pictures on your screen. You unscramble them to make a word. They're all about tech words, popular technology words that you use every day that you might have seen on your laptop or your gadget from your kids, ICT classrooms, anywhere. So please, let's get on with that. This is the first question. All right. Anyone? Goy?
Phishing email.
This is a...
Phishing
you're
email.
very close. Please, I may not be able to... Please, Miss Claire, can you help me check who's speaking? Because that person is very close. All right. Please, ma'am. Okay, you have another chance, ma'am. It's just one word. It's just one word. This is the kind of cyber crime that our regular Yahoo boys commit. Is one word, and you can please write it in the chat if you know it as well. Miss Anifene, you're very close. It's just one word. Anyone? Going? Hacking. Another try, please. Hackmail, no. Please, our stars, sir. Somebody speaking. Going because of time.
Fishing. Fishing.
Fishing. Fishing. Can you write that fishing in the chat, please? Okay, fishing. Someone already got it. Miss Bukola already got it. Fishing.
Miss Bukola.
All right, that's correct. Please note that.
Yes. Said that in the chat first. Actually,
before Miss Bukola.
Yeah.
Okay, please. All right, Miss Claire, over to you, please. I can't really monitor the chat as well. All right, second one. All right, second activity. All right. If you know the answer, please drop it in the chat, or you can just say it out loud. Going. This one is really easy. Going.
Screen time.
Screen time. All right, thank you. Mr. Abdusalam already got that. Please help me note the winners as well. Screen time. Yes, thank you. All right, third one coming up soon. This is the third one. Okay, this one is really easy.
Firewall. Firewall. Firewall.
Hey, how do we know the winner now?
I mean that
we can't really say. All right, let's use the chat so that we can actually know who said it for. Okay, let's use the chat. That would be interesting and that would be fair. All right. This one is really easy. All right. Going. The fourth one. Please, let's use the chat so we can actually know the winners in the chat. This one is not hard though. 3 hop and 1 harrow. Please, let's write our answers in the chats. Going. Click up. No. Try again. Upside. No. Not upside. No. Let's try. Let's just try. Going. When so that we don't lose our chats. People used to say something. So that we don't lose our chats. They would say, do something to your files, or what is that thing called? So that we don't lose our files.
Upside.
Back up.
Click up. No. Back up. Who said back up first? Who said back up first? All right. Thank you.
I wrote back up already.
Right.
Just
okay. Now to the last one, please. To the last one.
Eniola, that's Eniola, right?
Now this is the last one.
Any penny.
Oh,
all right. All right. So the last one, please. This one is really easy. The last one. First person. Oh, Miss Miracle Ajayi already got it. Log out. Thank you. Log in. No, it's log out. So please don't let us log out yet. Thank you so much. That will be all from my hand. All right. Thank you. Over to you, Miss Claire.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to collect the winners. Thank you very much, Mr. Aruno. I'm sure it was a great icebreaker. Before we continue, I don't know if Mrs. Monserrat is here already. And if not, we are going to move on to our next speaker. I hope he's here already. Is he here?
Yes, he's here. Yes, Mr. Femi Odeji.
Oh. Don't forget to drop your questions. If you have any questions for us, go ahead and put them down. Okay. All right, so up next is someone who truly understands the power of design and functionality in education technology. And so here is a bit about him. Femi Odejide is a senior product designer with a passion for creating user-centric, scalable digital experience that tell a story and solve problems. Over the past 6 years, he has designed products across fintech, gamification, Web3, and SaaS industry. Okay, so today he will look on the topic classroom ready, parent approved, what we've learned about building tools that fit real lives. So let's welcome him as a takeover. Let's clap for him with our reaction. Over to you, Mr. Femi Odejide.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, good afternoon.
A minute to share my screen, please. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I am honored to be
welcome, sir.
at the Parents and Educators Tech Summit 2025. My name is Femi Odejide, and I have the privilege of working on education tools for schools, parents, and teachers in my past. And before I begin my presentation, I would begin with a story from one of the meetings we had. So during one of my work experience with Edverse, we used to visit schools, either to talk to teachers one-on-one or administrators, or we even joined some PTA meetings. And during one of the PTA meetings, one of the parents stood up and said, "I'll only hear from the school when it's time to pay fees or when my child is sick." And that moment stuck with me, not because the school didn't care, not because the tools they were using couldn't do better. The system wasn't built for everyday life. It was built for just administrative things, you know. That single statement became a guiding light for me as a product designer while working with them on features and how to build around these features to cater into their everyday lives. Because real life isn't on the pause and learning shouldn't be either. Let's take a break and look into the bigger picture. Based off data that I have here, 60% of Nigerian public school students have limited access to structured digital learning tools. Some of these students that fall under the 60%, some of them either don't have access to digital devices that can help, or they have internet facility issues, or they are in the public schools where the government is yet to adopt some of these digital learning materials. Then 80% of parents also rely on physical meetings or phone calls, or probably letters sent by the parents through the students to get updated on child schooling, which is a little bit dicey, especially when it's like a letter or word of mouth to the parents. You know, kids, before they get home, they forget and they don't relay the message to their parents. Then 23% of teachers report having tech that actually makes their job easier. And when we say 23%, some might think that this 23% is the entire private school data that we have in Nigeria. No, we still have a lot of privately owned schools that are yet to adopt tech, either because they don't have the necessary funds to adopt this technology, or once again, internet issues, or even they don't have teachers that are tech savvy. And here's the deeper issue. Most educational tools focus on just admin features like marking attendance, payment of fees, results, but they ignore everyday usability, cultural context that is particular to each country, each state, each syllabus, and they even don't cater really to like basic bandwidth, internet bandwidth realities. So we need the tools that fit into people's real lives, like their everyday lives, the life of the busy parent, the life of the teacher that is juggling multiple classes, the life of the student that probably doesn't have a home lesson teacher to help them. So today I'll be breaking my discussion into various groups. That is technology for parents, and then for the teachers, and for the students, and what I learned built-in, and what I would recommend as like the basic features that would be ideal for the everyday learning applications for these three groups. Building for the parents. Most parents we design for are busy, some are not tech savvy, others are just overwhelmed by daily life. So how can we make sure that they stay involved effortlessly and not feel like they are doing an extra task? So some of the features that I believe are necessary for the parents to, in this age of tech, and to be able to be updated with their kids' learning and what is happening at the school. One is delivery of photos and messaging updates from the class teachers. So this provides frequent updates from the teachers to the parents, helping the parents stay informed about their child's activities and progress. So imagine a child that is in the daycare or in the kindergarten, and the teacher is able to send real-time pictures of the parent's child, how they are relating with other children in class, how they are probably creating little art projects. That helps the parents to feel connected to the child, even though they are far away during the day. And the reality of some states is that when some parents even come back from work, the kids are already asleep because of traffic, especially like states like Lagos. So with those type of updates, it helps the parents to know what is going on real life to some extent in the life of their child. Also, features that are embedded with calendars that set reminders about events, exam weeks, PTA meetings, and activities like music day and other presentations. This proactively informs the parents about important happenings to help them stay involved. Also, there should be a medium that offers access to class notes and learning materials for the parents. So we have parents that really would like to be involved in their children's learning. However, some of them, I mean, they left school years ago and they can't remember what they learned, or the syllabus, for those that even remember, syllabus has changed. So by providing the parents in the parents app now, providing them learning materials that they can also study and help these children of theirs to study or to do their assignments. It helps the parents to bond and also be active in the life of the child. Then also creating apps for messaging between the parents and the teachers. So that's like a messaging feature within the app. You know, as I mentioned earlier, that relying on children to deliver messages at time can be dicey because, I mean, just little drive before the child gets home, he has played halfway and he has forgotten what's supposed to deliver. Or some, even when the teacher writes notes because they know they committed an offense, they would not deliver the letter to their parents. But with this direct line of communication between the parents and the teachers, the parents are likely not to miss anything, and every information is passed across directly to the parents. Also provide easy access to, so a platform that, or a feature that allows easy payment of fees and enables quick payment. As I mentioned earlier, that like during time when I was working in the tech space, I participate in physical PTA meetings. And during one of such meetings, one of the feedback we got from a lot of parents was that schools have various account numbers that we have to pay to. I'm paying school fees into this account, I'm paying PTA into this account, I'm paying for uniforms and books into this account. That became stressful for some of them to keep track. And they would like to have like just a single interface where they can make this payment. However, the school wasn't agreeing to that because the school wanted to be accountable and not mix up the money. So we want to know what we remunerated for PTA and use that for just PTA needs. We want to know what is for school bus and just use that for school bus needs. So as a designer in that meeting, I understood what both parties wanted. And going back, I began to think about how we can do that. So a feature that allows parents to be able to pay the entire bulk of fees in one single interface. However, at the back end is distributing it on the behalf of the parent into the various accounts that the school like would be one that parents would like to see. So this wasn't just about functionality, it is about usability design. Parents needs to feel in the loop and control and not feeling absent in the life of their children. Building for the students. Students are core users, but their needs evolve quickly. The features that would be necessary for a kindergarten student is different from what a primary 3 student will need, and it's different from what a GSS1 or SS1 student will need. But I believe this would cover, at least for most of the population. First of all, access to additional learning materials that sync with the class content. When the child is done and they go home, some of them need to keep learning on their own to reinforce what they have learned. And without the presence of a teacher to guide them, or the presence of a home lesson teacher or their parents, they need to be able to be on their own and to continue learning. And even for those that like to learn ahead of the class. So there should be the features that provide them with additional learning materials that is in line with the school curriculum and can help them reinforce their learning and to stay on top of their game. Also, CBT platforms to prepare for both internal and external exams. The reason why some of the students fail is because they don't get enough practice. So they just read, and the only time they get to test their knowledge is during the midterm test or at the end of the term. However, from experience, when students have platforms where they can always continually learn, practice their learnings, it helps them to perform better eventually. Over time, you can see a record of what or predict what their average score would be. And also you get to know their area of weakness. So if it is a student that's practicing using a CBT platform, they're practicing mathematics questions over time, and they keep failing some certain questions, you are able to track, okay, so this person is not good in probably board mass, or this person is not good when it comes to shapes or something like that. Also, real-time performance data and feedback. So the students would need a place where they can get real-time performance about their real-time feedback about their performance, and this should be well detailed enough to help them know where to fix and where to get better at, and where they are also performing good at already. And also messaging capabilities with teachers within the app. We have students that are probably shy to raise up their hands and ask questions in the class, or in some instances, they are not even shy. However, while they are probably personally studying at home, they are not clear about something and they need real-time help. They need to reach out to someone that can help them. And we need to remember it's not every child that will have an elder sibling. Some are just the only child. So a direct line of communication to the teachers can help the students that are either shy or those that need extra assistance to be able to message the parents. However, these messaging platforms also need to be monitored so that they are not taken advantage of by some ill-meaning teachers. Providing students with access to supplementary learning resources that align with their classroom content is, as I mentioned earlier, would help to aid their learning. Also, um, AI assessed written AI assess written assignments with nuance and graded assignments. Students receive detailed feedbacks from this AI. So let me explain how this has worked in my experience. If, for instance, okay, before I explain that, we need to remember that there are instances where the capabilities of each children differ. We have children that their brain are more structured to fit into fine arts and crafts, while some are more into the calculations and while some are more into theoretical aspects. If we are to come down into courses that are not gradable in the sense that we don't have a finite answer for them, whereas we have subjective answers, how are these graded today? You can't really mark a student wrong because of their opinion or they giving a subjective answer to a subjective question. So for instance, in an English test or exam, you ask students to write about the lion, and we have students that throughout the article, they mention wild cats or they mention the king of the jungle without mentioning the lion. Do you want to penalize them for not just mentioning the lion? With tuning and the right AI embedded into this application, it's going to know that, okay, this person is still talking about this particular thing and is well able to also still grade them correctly. Because when we start to penalize people for not using our own specific terms, even though they are subjectively right, it doesn't encourage them to perform well, and they don't get the adequate feedback they need. So this flexibility respects the student's voice and improves their engagement and also builds their confidence to perform better. While building for teachers, too many edtech platforms out there treat teachers just like data entry flow folks, or just like administrative guys just to mark attendance or do some minimal work. But teachers are more than that. Teachers are mentors, they are counselors, they are classroom managers, and at the end of the day, they're also human beings like us too. So some features that we can have in edtech apps that would help to enhance the productivity of teachers are: one, AI-generated class notes to save time. And when I say AI-generated class notes to save time, I am not advocating for notes to be entirely generated by AI, but by assisting the teacher to generate the lesson notes. So we have cases where there are schools where they don't have access to the latest textbooks, probably because they're in the rural area and they have low funding. But with these AI embedded tools into their edtech platforms, they are as well able to get materials that are standard with the world-class learning and also be able to embed it into their class notes and use that to teach the students. And this also saves them time with doing research, and they are able to use that time into other productive means. So smart attender system. So smart attender system, I still categorize it under saving of time so that teachers can manage their time well and invest into other productive means, or even to cater to children one-on-one. So a case study of like a smart attender system would be: imagine a teacher taking out their phone and then they make a video recording of their entire class, and then they just drop their phone and they start teaching. In the background, the AI system in the app is going through that video, and it is recognizing the face of every student and is marking them present across their name. And then for the ones that are not around or the face were not captured, it marks them as absent. I mean, some of us have seen this features like this on Facebook, and I practically have built that, so I know it's existing. I'm not just talking theoretically. Well, like when you have pictures on your Facebook or on your iPhone and it's asking you who is this, so practically that is just what I'm talking about. And you might be wondering, okay, what about if it doesn't recognize the face of a student? Yes, it's going to prompt the teacher, and the teacher can attend to that later, that, okay, there are these faces there and I don't recognize them. And then the teacher can manually go in and update that. So that saves the time of the teacher and the class instead of calling all the names of 30, 50 plus students one by one. Just imagine that time actually being used for them to actually teach and do more effective things. Also, real-time class performance dashboard for the entire class. So a really robust and comprehensive dashboard that shows the data across the class that is really necessary for them to help enhance teaching. So it's showing things like the best performing students, the poorly performing students, and how to help them adjust. Okay, so this person is poor, but okay, what are the things that they are poor in? And we're not just generalizing that they are poor. Or this person was performing well and then they dropped at this point. What made them drop? You can investigate into that because these are more comprehensive data. And also unified communication within parents and colleagues. I've touched on like that of the parent and the students earlier, but also within colleagues. I mean, we might think it is small, but for someone like me that went to schools with large compound and teachers trying to reach out to their colleagues in another block and just using like 10, 15 minutes to walk from block to block because they need to pass across message. So that helps with communication. They can communicate with the sick bay or with the admin and get information real time and saving them time. Because we have really had, I mean, from PTA meetings that I attended, I had things like, don't give us more work to do, just make what we already do easier. So this needs to be considered into the life of the of the teachers, what are the things they need, what are everyday things they do. If you are onboarding a school with a new edtech software, do you want them to be entering all the 10 years ago record one by one, or is there a way that you can allow them just take their phone, they take a picture of that record, and then it is populated there and it saves them time instead of manually entering it? So these are things that we need to consider into the real lives of our everyday teachers also. And lastly, forbidden for teachers, I mean, features like drag and drop, uploading of links and PDF for additional learning resources for either the students or their parents would be helpful. And auto grading with AI or manual assistance, which I already mentioned about using the essay case study. By designing educational tools that assist teachers, not add to their workload, we empower them to focus on their core roles as mentors, counselors, and classroom managers, ultimately creating a more supportive and enriching learning environment for students. What we have learned, or what I learned personally: one, design for real world constraints. We are to develop tools that work seamlessly with practical limitations and challenges of the targeted environment. As I mentioned earlier, what countries need differ. The speed in the United Kingdom or the USA for their internet is different from here. So those are like real-time case studies that we need to put into developing. Even within countries, we have states that have different syllables. We have schools that, excuse me, that have different syllables, and these are things that we need to consider when we are designing for a targeted environment. So we also need to optimize for everyday usability, prioritize the experience of using learning tools, ensuring it feels natural, supportive, and integrated into the user's daily life rather than additional burden. Things as little as we realizing that most of the parents are a little bit older and some of them can't see the little font sizes that are inside most apps like the way their children would see. So for the parents app, you can make their fonts look bigger so that they are reading easily without having to strain their eyes, because at their age, most of them are already wearing glasses or having eye defects. Include offline and low data access. So this is like regarding the internet thing that I kept mentioning, and it's really a serious issue to be considered. We have something called Progressive Web App. Progressive Web App basically helps areas with either low or no internet to perform well with digital tools. So this feature basically would allow people to take on tasks while they are offline, and then they perform everything they want to do. And then when they come online, when they turn on their data or when the light is back, it syncs and it feels like they were never offline. So that is one of the things to consider when we are designing for targeted environments. Also, AI at this age and time is very important, very crucial. It can be used in various ways. A case study I've given is that of attendance. I have personally implemented it also in learning materials, in grading, and in coming up with tasks and syllabus. We need to leverage artificial intelligence to streamline the essence of the user experience, but also we need to ensure that the human touch and personal connection still remains within the app. Also, at the end of the day, we need to remember that tech isn't the hero. The human beings, the people that use these tech products are. We need to recognize that the true heroes of this education platform and the true heroes of education as a whole are the teachers, the parents, and the students. And the role of technology is just to empower and support these key stakeholders and not to replace any one of them. Let me close by saying this. The best educational tools are not the most complex tools at all. They are the ones that feel like they belong in your life, your everyday life, the life of the busy parent, the life of the teacher that is juggling multiple classes, or teaching multiple projects, the teachers teaching social studies and the same teachers teaching physics. They don't just work in the classroom, but they work on the go. They also work at home, and these apps also work at the market space. They work at night when parents check in on their kids. That's what classroom ready, parent approved really means. Thank you.
Oh, wow. That was a wonderful one. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi Odejide. I'm sure many of us learned one or two things because there's a lot of take-homes from everything he shared with us. All right. So thank you so much once again, Mr. Femi. Now, before we move on to the next session, which is the question and answer section, if you have questions, can you kindly drop them in the chat so that we can see them? And we'll be giving Mrs. Monsurat Olalade another chance to share with us what she has brought for us. So I don't know, are you there, Ma? Hello, Mrs. Monsurat. Hello, are you there? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Loud.
Okay, if she's not there, then I would hand over to Mr. No to take the question and answer section. You're muted.
Miss Masura, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Because I can see her video is on. Miss Masura is here. I think I can see her. Please, you can unmute, ma'am, and speak now. Yes, ma'am, we can hear you, ma'am.
So sorry. I think the network is terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So sorry about
that.
Okay, so I was on balance. So for us to, or for everyone to relate to what I am trying to say, I want to add few stories so that it will be fun. So I will start with attention now. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you, ma'am.
We can hear you.
Okay. So what attention means basically, especially with children, is children learn best when they feel seen and heard. Yes, of course, the attention span is short, but with the right environment, it can grow. I am in Oshobo. I'm based in Oshobo, Osun State. I'm sure you're familiar with that. So I once met a young boy. His name is Sheyi. His parents are taking him to all these local crèche around. So one day, the caregiver noticed that almost every afternoon, the boy is always looking, is always staring out of the window during lessons. But because it's all this Montessori crèche, so the caregiver has a knowledge about early childhood. So instead of scolding Sheyi, what are you doing? Face front. Look at what we are doing. So the caregiver calm him and question him. What is outside that you are always looking at all the time? the boy said,
Ms. Claire is there. I think she is gone. Please, if you have any questions, kindly drop them in the chats. Mr. Femi Odejide, are you still with us, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you so much for your presentation. Ms. Masura, are you back now? Or because of time? I have some questions that would like to ask our speakers. Please, if you have any questions, kindly drop them in the chat. All right, so she's not back. I think network is really terrible at her end. We apologize for that, and we hope you learned one of two things, or even had fun throughout the entire session that we've had so far. So, Mr. Femi Odejide, yes, during your presentation, I got some really insightful talks as regards how do we actually build apps that are, classroom ready, apps that, would resonate with the teachers, with students, and with parents. So now my question is this. Now, in this age of AI that we have at the moment, what is your view generally about the use of the AI apps that we have currently in the classroom? Just your short perspective on that. Thank you.
So I was talking about Sheyi because I don't understand this. Okay, so the boy said, I'm looking at birds.
So sorry about that.
So the boy said, I'm looking at birds. So immediately the caregiver thought of holding a class that has to do a lesson that talks about animals. And before you know it, Sheyi becomes the most active participant in the class. And why is that? It's because the caregiver paid attention to his interests. Because children learns practically with practicals. I mean, practicals, they enjoy. In fact, it baffles me now that young children age 2, 3, 4, they are going to school to study 13, 14 subjects at a go. And you wonder why most of these children turns out to be a dull child. It's because they are forgetting that their early stage of life, it has to be holistic. It has to be more of practicals than theories. So for me, I would say that attention is about noticing each child, not just the curriculum. And what are the practical tips I can say uh, we should go with in this topic is on attention. We should reduce noise and overstimulation. We should use their name often when teaching them. We should praise effort, no matter how small it is, not just results. And connect learning to their daily life. E.g., you can imagine maybe in a class, we want to teach them about, I mean, we have pepper, we have different type of vegetables. So you come into class with, okay, or let me say fruits now. You come into class or teaching them with different types of fruits, counting them one by one, blah blah blah. And before you know it, these children will be able to identify these fruits one by one. Now, let's go to balance now. just like I said, in early childhood education, balance should not only be early childhood learning should not only be academic. It must be holistic, must include every aspect of their life and also includes rest, play, and their emotional growth. I will still use a daycare as an example. There's a daycare around our house where they will expect a 2 year sit throughout a phonics class daily. I mean, just sit down without anything that will motivate them. Many of these children, they start to cry, they start to age school, but immediately they hire a competent person that can introduce singing, dancing, storytelling, nap time. These children are still very young, if not because of parent that needs to bring something to the table. I mean, from age 0 to 5, all these children go to school. They need to, I mean, so nap time, learn because and their learning improve drastically. So, and before we know it, most of these children are now happy to come to school. Parents drops them at the school gate. So for me, I would say that balancing is about mixing structure with play and discipline with freedom. Not all this old school discipline. So discipline with freedom. At least the practical tips here is at every hour, let these children have a free play time of 15 to 30 minutes. 15 to 30 minutes. And also storytelling. If it is a Yoruba, all these things we grew up with. Most while we were young, not at this age. And importantly, we should not compare children. Growth is individual. How we learn fast is not how the other person would do. So, and three, collaboration. Collaboration, children learn better when parents one person or two-person taking 13 children. How practical do you think that will be? Yes, they will try their best, especially if it's a good school, but these children still need the input of
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
All right, so Mr. Femi, please, do you still have the question I asked? Please, your response to the question so we can wrap up here, please. Thank you.
All right. Please, can I come again with the question?
All right, so I said with the advent of AI hubs everywhere in the classroom, how do we, strike a balance as parents, educators, even students' perspective? What is your own view as, as an edtech designer, someone that's been in the space before? What do you recommend? so that we navigate this carefully in our country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. First of all, as I said, AI one is just meant to support and empower, not to replace. And we need to even remember that we have countries and larger organizations that are asking, how are we governing AI, the everyday use of AI? That is even for adults. So when it comes down to our educational system and
So for
to
me, ABC is more than a framework. It's a lifestyle of intentional care. If you give them attention, balance, and collaboration, our children won't just succeed, they will thrive in life. And that's the end of my topic.
All right, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Montserrat. All right, Mr. Femi, you were about answering the question before Mrs. Montserrat got in back again. So let's have you.
Oh yeah. So as I was saying that like we have larger organizations trying to govern the use of AI. So within our respective education products and applications, one, they need to be governed, and two, we need to identify what aspect of educational products are we using them for. As I mentioned earlier, we can use them in case of like attendance, we can use them for generating notes, and we can even use them when it comes to helping students perform well in exams. So you realize that this person performs poorly in this subject, and then you give them another test in that same subject. When it comes to like a CBT practicing platform, you can always make sure that the AI is making sure that the system is generating more questions that similar to that one, so that it can help them reinforce their learning until they are well vested in that particular subject. And also, AI can also help to dig into data faster than, I don't want to say faster than the teacher would be, but the reality is that the teacher's time is limited, and it cuts, they need to give this limited time to actually doing their day's job and also giving attention to the students. So with AI, we can help dig into these data for the students and generate a summary for the teachers, and then the teachers can now take action steps on this data. So yes, I'm in support of AI in education platforms, but we need to remember that just as it is being governed by institutions, or institutions that are looking to govern and draw policies around it, we can't just unleash it entirely into our educational platforms. There still needs to be some standard procedures that needs to govern the use of it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that wonderful insight. Thank you. All right, Mr. Miss Claire, can you hear me?
All right. So before we round up, we are almost getting to the end of the session, and I'm sure you guys are enjoying yourself and you're learning. I have one more question for Mr. Femi and every educator in here. So my question is, how can we start including our students in this growing world of AI? Should we be worried or should we be cautious? By worried, I'm saying, should we be scared about introducing them to it, especially at a very young age? What are your thoughts?
Okay. Once again, I would come back to governing and drawing policies. Earlier in the call, even for our smartphones, we had people mentioning putting like a guide to the use of the phones and not just taking out the phones from them. So yes, what are we allowing students to have access to if we are allowing them to have access to AI? And even before we come to think about AI, let's just think about the normal internet as a whole. There are platforms that would say if this child is not up to this age, you can't have access to this platform. And even if you can have access to this platform, these are the things you can do on this platform. So that is even just for the everyday normal internet. So once again, we can't just unleash the entirety of AI. So in as much as, yes, it would help the child when they don't have an assistant to help them with their assignments or to answer their questions, they can have someone that they can have an object that would help them figure out these questions and give them real answers. So now is that whatever AI that we are letting into our platforms or we are letting our kids have interface with, what are the governing rules around them, especially when it comes to certain age? What are the limits to it? Hope it is not taking their personal information and leaking it to data, third-party data purchases, So those are things that we need to look out for. So to answer your question, yes, we can introduce them to AI. However, we need to watch what the platform has access to and how the children use it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's really important. If you're a parent here or an educator here, that's a very, very, very important message. We need to really be careful of how we inject AI into our classrooms because I saw a trend where teachers were taking pictures of students and trying to show them what their future would look like using AI. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. But then from the digital citizenship part, I was like, these pictures are going to a back end. There's a database that is collecting these pictures. It can be used in the future, whether positively or negatively. So it is up to parents and teachers and even schools to actually make sure that there is consent taken from them before any teacher or educator uses his or her child picture in the classroom or their content or even their video or their faces. Because, we're in the world of AI, we're also in the world of deep fakes and all of that. Thank you for stressing that point, Mr. Fairley. Thank you so much. Ms. Clark, thank you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Ms. Claire, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for the okay, now it's better. Thank you so much for the rich and insightful conversation we have been having. I don't know if anyone has any more questions, and if not, we'll move ahead to take the announcements. And I'll now invite Ms. Ajoke to give a few announcements and share how we can stay connected beyond this event.
Please, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure we've had a great conference so far. So I'd just like us to watch this video. It's about 2 minutes, and then I would right into what I have for us. Thank you.
This is a live section of the experience of one of our coding classes at Rubies Technologies. Rubies Technologies is a social enterprise with a mission to equip, train, and empower Africans with digital and technological skills for global relevance. My name is Apakwe Wiskinolua. For the past 6 years, we've trained over 4,000 kids and teenagers within and outside Nigeria, with about 3,000 in 30 schools and over 500 kids with our online coding classes. Rubies Code School is an online coding school that trains kids and teenagers between age 5 and 19 on coding and other digital courses. We've had wonderful and amazing experiences in our classes with our students both in Nigeria and abroad.
Here at one of our partner schools is the Rubies Code Club. Through teaching coding as a subject, or even clubs like the popular Jet Club, or even teachers training, our partner schools are electrified and supercharged with amazing learning experience. In partnership with Rubies Tech Foundation, we offer public schools free coding sessions using our 3-to-1 plan. That is 3 coding schools to 1 public school.
Rubies Tech Foundation is the NGO part of Rubies Technologies that offers free trainings and programs. It was indeed an August to remember in the year 2022 when the Rubies Tech Foundation team visited the community of Abule Joko to teach over 100 kids coding for a period of 1 week.
Yes, how do you feel presently at the moment?
Well, I feel happy, I feel overjoyed, excited. What can I explain how I feel right now? I'm well pleased.
This is just one of many flavors of humanity to come. The BRACE Conference, Spotlight, and School Tech Talk are hosted by the foundation. With our massive years of experience, we hope to do more. We are all the same we are. Trust us to bring amazing learning experience to your kids and teenagers. Yes, we can.
All right, thank you very much. Just to give us more about who we are at Rubies Technologies and what we do, I'm excited to let you know that we have a conference like this coming up on the 26th of July, and it's specially for kids and teenagers between the ages of 5 to 19. So we've talked about what we can do better as parents and educators to these children, and this is the time for us to impact these children, to inspire them about technology, and also get them to know how they can start on early in their tech career, and definitely how to thread online safely, and many other nuggets for the kids. So on the 26th of July 2025, we'll be having the BRACE Conference. It's an annual conference. It's a conference for kids and by kids, meaning it's for children, and also the speakers will be children, not adults this time around. The idea is for them to have the feel of, if this person can do it, I can also do it as well. So we want to see how more children can be integrated into the technology atmosphere. So join us. Tell your students, tell your children, your nieces, your nephews, all the people, your church members about BRACE Conference. It is also going to be online, and we look forward to having them around. I'm also glad to tell you that we are maximizing this summer holiday for children to learn about technology in the ideal way. And for joining this conference, we have a special offer for you. Yes, if you have children between the ages of 7 to 19, and you will want them to start their tech journey, you want them to learn coding, especially during the summer holiday, we are offering you a 10% discount on our Summer of Code. Summer of Code is a 4-week coding bootcamp for kids to learn and build with technology. We have online and physical option this year, and if you enroll between today and the 30th of June, you have a 10% discount off to have your children join the class. Thank you so much for having me. Do enjoy the rest of the conference.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much, Ms. Adejoke. So, as we are wrapping up, someone from the chat asked, how do we contact Mr. Femi and Mrs. Monsurat? So you can share with us your social media handle, your email address, if we would like to contact you. So we had such an inspiring time together. Huge thanks again to our guest speaker, even though network was disturbing Mrs. Monsurat's speech, but we still had time to listen to what she had for us. Thank you so much, Mrs. Monsurat, Ololade, and Mr. Femi Odejide, and to the fantastic Mr. Aruna, thank you so much. And to the amazing team at Rubies Tech Foundation, thank you very much. And to you, of course, our lovely audience, for showing up and engaging and learning with us. We say thank you. But before we close, I'd like to ask if Mr. Aruna would like to add anything to it.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Claire. Thank you everyone for joining. It's been an amazing evening, and once again, apologies for the network disruption. We hope pardon us, we hope you forgive us, and we hope that things get better. And next year, I hope we'll be pumped again for yet another amazing conference. So come next month is Brace Conference for kids, by kids, and for kids only again. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining out of your little time, out of the celebration, out of your resting period. You came out here through the digital fiber to attend this meeting online. Thank you so much, and I wish us a great day and a very great year. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, thank you, Mr. Arno. If you are yet to fill the feedback form, I think you should do well to fill it in. And for those that want to claim their gift, I still think you should fill out the feedback form. We are going to reach out to you through the feedback form. All right. Okay, so we have come to the end. Thank you all once again. Let's keep collaborating to erase the tech-savvy generation together.